At this rate, I'll be lucky to have one truck done. Welcome back to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's episode 7 of Road to the Rockies. It's where Josh from Harley Designs and myself are creating 3, maybe, comp trucks for the Rocky Mountain Regionals hosted by Team Garage Hack just north of Denver, Colorado. Logo. This week, I'm realizing that we're down to about 32 days before I am on a plane. And, real worry is starting to set in because I am really at the mercy of Josh for most of the things for the Class 1 Porsche. Class 2 truck, at least that's my fault for not really being that far along with such a short amount of time left. Now, realistically, there isn't a lot to do, but there's enough to do to stress me out. And, you know, I have created a bit of a list, and that list at least reminds me of how far behind I am. There's a lot of stuff left to do, but some things have happened since the last episode 2 weeks ago. The body has been sanded completely. It's had its resin coating, and then I did add a couple layers of filler primer as well. And I think while it isn't perfect, there are some significant issues. There's a little bit of a run, there's some lumpiness, there's still some layer lines. It's not by any means my best effort, but I think we're gonna roll with it because the idea is to try to make this look a little bit weathered and old. And these Volvo Sugas are from like the 1930s or something, so they're not really supposed to look all that fresh and clean and new anyway. So what I'll probably end up doing is spraying the whole thing with sort of browns and blacks and reds to kind of give it that rusted kind of undercoat, and then we'll do a quick hairspray layer, and then we'll flat black the whole thing, revealing some of that rustiness underneath, especially in the more textured areas. And it'll work to our advantage. It'll look like an older, rusted out, but still painted truck. Bonus. Normally, this is not my standard of excellence, and I know that. But really, at this point, is anybody gonna notice? Especially if we weather it, it'll look like it's supposed to look like that. So good enough for me. The general height that you're seeing here, this is the height that it's going to be at. I've started to add some scale metal supplies bits showing where bumpers are going to be. Josh has already scolded me because these are still poking out fairly far, but not further than the tires. We will still probably end up profiling these. I'm going to saw off a major portion of this and pull these bumper tabs back so it is a much tighter fit and still legal, of course, but just tighter so I'm not bashing that front bumper into rocks like I did at Nationals last year. On the rear, we've got a more sophisticated looking bumper assembly under there. You can just see it poking out underneath. These are the angled tabs from Scale Metal Supplies, another great piece. We'll put an angled tube right along the bottom that'll profile nicely along the entire length of this rather assy rear end. Oh my God, Becky, look at her butt. So that's going to work out quite nicely. Ride height's looking pretty good. That's at full compression, so I'm pretty happy with how that looks. My carbon fiber sliders are looking quite good under there. Nice hidden look. And we should actually take the body off because now that it's sort of in its state, we can move on to some upgrades on the chassis. And all of the upgrades have been added. So let's check that out now too. You can get a pretty good idea of what's changed just by looking at it. Visually, you'll notice those are carbon fiber rails. And yes, Axial released all of their upgrades for the SCX10 Pro, and I ordered them all. So they're all here, they're all installed. His installation was super easy. It's basically undo a bunch of screws and then put those screws back on. So we've got the carbon fiber rails. On the rear axle, we've got the brass lockouts. On the front, we've got the steering knuckles. We've got the aluminum C's. Basically every piece that you could buy I've put on this truck, including the aluminum motor mount. I just, obviously it's a much stronger piece than the plastic piece would be, so that's a good piece to add. Carbon fiber rails, like I said, and we've got the DSM off-road trays, the mid and the rear. So I haven't yet decided where I'm placing the battery, but I thought, why not put these both on there and decide later, depending on how much room I need for an interior. And an interior is something that's still on the list and something that has to happen. I would like to do a 4-seater for the extra points, so I don't have to do such things as metal sliders. That would be really nice to avoid that. But otherwise, I think with that custom body, we'll easily get to 50 points on this truck without much trouble. But one thing I did want to mention, the carbon fiber rails over the aluminum rails, significant weight savings. It's about 25 grams less per side. So 50 grams is a lot in anybody's book. So I'm very happy to rid myself of that additional weight. I am really quite excited to run the SCX10 Pro. I would like to get some testing done prior to the actual comp, but that's looking less and less likely as time is rapidly disappearing. Anyway, we'll see. Hopefully we do get a bit of time with it, because practice doesn't mean driving it to the first gate on the first day of the comp. That doesn't count. Okay, so there you go. That's where we're at. There is still a significant number of things on the list. I'm going to cross off wet sand the body, because we don't need to do that anymore now that I'm smart and going for a weathered look. Metal sliders, we can cross that off. Interior cage, I do want to do that. I do want to mount that to this slider setup, so I want to have at least 2 hoops with down tubes and crossbars, so we can get all the points for that, front and rear. Interior, I'd love to do some sort of vacuum formed styrene thing out of like O2O, just to keep the weight down. We're gonna have to see about that. I do have a small vacuum forming setup here that I could make work if necessary, and with time being of the essence, I won't be able to farm that out and do it elsewhere, so that's probably all it's gonna be. I'll probably mock it up in 3D, print out a mold, fill that with silicone, and then start vacuum forming. Wire up all the electronics. I do have a motor and that ESC from Furatech. I'm probably going to try that first, and then we'll kind of play it by ear. If that goes well, great. Already done all the SCX10 Pro upgrade parts and DSM parts, so that's done. Class 2 doesn't require a front windshield, so I may actually avoid doing any windows whatsoever. Front and rear bumpers, we've already got that started. Body mounting, I think what we're going to do is create some sort of hinge mechanism for the back, and then we're still going to use 2 screws on either side to firmly plant the body to the rest of the chassis. Battery placement, that's where these DSM trays are going to come into play. Paint, decals, test. Oh, and a dashboard. I've got to design up some sort of dashboard to go in there as well, and a firewall so it can stay legal. Okay. That's it. No problem. If I didn't have something else to build, which we should probably pop onto the bench as well. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, this build is sort of on pause until I get some things from Josh and from SendCutSend. I have sent all the files for all of the bumper mounts and all of the cage mounts. There are a lot of parts coming, but they're not here yet, and I can't really do anything more with this until I get those things. The body has been sanded, then wet sanded, then sanded again, and then sanded a bit more. So it's basically ready for a clear coat, which is great news. There's not much more to do here. I do still have to cut a hole so we can see that motor underneath, and then firmly mount our whale tail on the back. And then once that's sort of done, that's gonna basically look like that, which is gonna be pretty cool, I think. It is, although it is kind of nice smooth. Maybe we'll just cut a hole and put some mesh in there and be done. That might be smarter too, because I'm prone to rolling my vehicles over and crushing parts off of them. So something like this, while light and quite rigid because it is that carbon fiber PLA, I have a good feeling I'll still knock that off pretty easily. This is the right width for the wheel and tire package on the driver's side. On passenger side, it's still on a much wider hub, but I do like how this is coming together. It's looking pretty darn good. There's a lot of templates that have been printed. Here's some of them here. This is a template to print up the what is this for? I think this is a template to print up this, or this is a template that was printed to get the sliders figured out. I think that's probably what that is. That's probably where that goes in some way. There's also some. These are bumper templates, and then we've got the bending profile for the rear bumper, so that's gonna be a real fun thing to bend with a tube bender. But you can see how this is all kind of gonna come together, you know, like that's gonna go under there, right? Yes. These were all printed on the Bamboo X1 Carbon. You can tell because they look fantastic. This printer has been flawless. I am loving the experience. Anything you see in green, these are temporary pieces that have been printed. I might as well just take the body off so you can get a better look at that. They're temporary pieces to show off where things need to go or what things will be going where. A lot of these, I don't really know how they work. These are all templates for cutting the cage to the right height. So there's going to be all of that to do still. Then we've got our front servo and front servo winch mount, and then also this is the whole assembly for the steering with the bell crank setup, which Josh showed off last week and should work exceedingly well. It's pretty exciting to see all of this come together. This chassis does look pretty awesome, and I'm very excited by the prospect of having this complete. But like I said, it's all on Josh. It's just up to me to assemble and paint. I can do those things in my sleep. I just need the time to do it. But it's going to be cool. I'm really looking forward to this. It's all coming together quite nicely. I did screw up the transmission build somehow, and I put in the rear drive shaft backwards. So I do have to fix that before we can call the chassis complete. Otherwise, Josh's carbon fiber work, he cut all of these carbon fiber rails himself at home on his Stepcraft, which I'm blown away by. It's pretty impressive stuff. I kind of want one. Good thing is I don't have any space for one, so that's out of the picture. This is a significantly longer list, but like I said, Josh has to do a bunch of stuff so I can do things too. So I'll be doing some brazing this weekend, and I'll probably film all of that. So that'll be exciting for next time. If you're enjoying this series, you like watching me fumble through a build like this and stress out on a daily basis, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. I think that's going to do it for this episode. Not much happened that you can see, but things are happening. Yeah. There you go. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again in 2 weeks. And I'll have a lot less hair.